Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you this really cute little chocolate gift, and that's what I'm simply calling it, a cute chocolate gift. The lovely Garden Impressions DSP is so cute, and I really do love the stamp set as well, and the coordinating thinlets. They're just so pretty, and so I created this little box, and inside it houses a little chocolate bar. But not only that, but the little box inside coordinates the DSP that's on the front. Isn't it pretty and isn't it cute? And I just think a little girl or a relative or somebody that you wanted to just say thank you to would really appreciate that. The chocolate bars, I got them myself, are from Aldi, and I believe they are in a pack of, I want to say 5 for £1 or just over £1. So actually you could make quite a few. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So to start off with, you need a sheet of cardstock, that is 5.5 by 5 inches, and this is for the outer cover. So with your I've not written this down very well, so I am silly. On the 5.5, yes, with your 5.5 across the top, you need to score at 2.5 and 3 inches, and that's it. So 5.5 by 5, 5.5 across the top, we score at 2.5 and 3. So 14 centimetres by 12.7. With your 14 centimetres across the top, you're going to score at 6.5 and 7.5. Okay, pop that to one side because then we need to bring in the box. So the actual base of the box itself, your cardstock needs to be 5 3/8 by 3 1/8, and that's 13.7 by 7.9, and we're just simply going to score it at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides, which is 1 centimetre. So I'm just going to score that on all 4 sides. And then while I have it, I want to also score my DSP. So this is 3 1/16 by 5 5/16, and in centimetres that is 7.8 by 13.5, and again we're going to score at 1/2 inch, which is 1 centimetre. So obviously this is a little bit thinner than the cardstock, so I'm not going to be using a shim. So let's pop that out of the way. And this is always the interesting time when you do things like this, that you hope they're actually going to work. So I'm just simply fold and burnish those score lines. No reinforcing, you'll be glad to know today. And then I'm just simply going to cut my corners with some wedges. Just do all 4 the same. Oh, it's nice and peaceful now. Won't be for long, I'm sure. Okay, so there's my box made up in that way. Next up, I will do the DSP. Now, this is going to be the inside. This is the bit I want to see. So I'm going to fold actually the opposite way to my score lines because I did it the wrong way round. So just make sure that it lines up, and fold and burnish those. And then you're going to do exactly the same with this one. Just cut wedges out of those corners. My dog's under my desk and I can hear her snoring. Hope she doesn't start dreaming. She'll start yelping. I don't actually know which one it is because they're both fast asleep. This is another DSP that I just think is lovely. Just these patterns, just nice and almost refreshing, I think. Okay, so let's make our box itself up. So what you need to do, I'm having a moment here, so we need to, that's right, so you need to have the bottom of your box facing up and adhere these. So just make up your normal box. Just like that. And then when we make up our DSP, you want to have it so that it sits this way, so that you've actually got the inside that you want showing facing upwards. And then we put adhesive on these. Now be really, really careful if you're still using fuse. You could use snail on this, it would be fine. When you tear that fuse, you need to make sure that you're not snapping, because you will quite easily rip one of these off. And then these actually get adhered to the back. So it's a bit back to front, but you adhere these to the back of your, normally we'd obviously do them inside, but you want these on the outside. And then, moment of truth, you need to make sure it fits. Hey presto, it fits. Wow. So now all I simply want to do is grab some wet glue, and I'm just going to run it, just to hold it in place, just run it along the sides here, and then carefully just have some across the bottom there, and then just pop your box in place, getting glue all over your fingers and just tucking it in, just so that the glue all sets. If you get any coming out, just obviously give it a little wipe. And then I actually found that the best way of getting all of this to fit and to adhere was to put your chocolate bar in, because it'll hold it all in place. And if you do find that you've got a very slight bit here, look, that's just come over, you can just give that a little trim. So I'm just going to set that to one side just while I finish off my box, my cover. So here is my beautiful cover. So I'm just simply going to fold and burnish those two score lines. And then I've got the beautiful detailed trio punch just to round the corners of my little gift here. So I'm just going to go around and make sure I do all of the corners. And then I have my coordinating DSP, which actually is going to be going the opposite way of the pattern, but it doesn't really matter. And this is 5 1/4 by 4 3/4, which is 13.5 by 12.2. Round the corners on this one as well. I've got glue stuck to me now. Okay, so that's that bit done. And then I'm simply going to adhere this on. I'm not going to use wet glue actually, I'm going to use my snail, which looks like it's very close to running out. And I'm just simply going to do all of the 4 edges and then just a couple of strips down the centre. And then, look at this, glue everywhere. Nearly forgot, very nearly forgot. You need to add your ribbon at this stage. So, I'm using Beautiful Classic Weave white ribbon, and I've just got a really good length at this stage. Make sure you've got it the right way. I'm going to use a little bit of fuse just for added bit of adhesive there. Oops. And then I'm simply just sticking that in there. And then I need to do exactly the same the other side. In fact, these ribbons are probably a little bit too long, but I'll just trim some off in a moment, that's fine. Pop your ribbon on, and then you just need to pop this on here. So I'm adding this sort of, this side on first, just lining it up there with the corners top and bottoms here to make sure I have an equal gap. So that will stick there. So just make sure your ribbons are out of the way and give that a stick. And then I'm just going to pop that down and give it a fold. And I suggest you fold them slightly before you adhere them too much, because they will move slightly. Obviously they need that little bit of expansion just to move, and then obviously that will go where it wants to be. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder just to reinforce that bit, and then when this is folded I just put my finger in there and rub down there, and there's my cover. So all I need to do now is adhere this in place, and again I'm just going to keep that chocolate bar in there just for some strength when I press. And I'm just going to run some fuse down there and then pop my box. So you need to butt this edge up to this crease line here, but you need to also make sure that your gaps are equal at the top and the bottom. And then just fold your side up, make sure you're happy with it all, and then press it down. Glue everywhere, and then we just tie this up in a pretty bow, which this one doesn't want to do. Don't play on me today, come on. There we go. So it's upside down, but hey ho. So there's my bow. Just going to trim these a little bit. Don't you love it when your bow's upside down? And then I just want to decorate it. So I've got my Mango Melody ink pad here, and I'm using the same sentiment, so abstract impressions. There's so much to love about you, which I think is just too cute. And I'm just going to stamp that onto some Whisper White there, and then give that a little clean. And then I just want my corner punch, and with the Springtime Impressions Thinlets there is a very small flower in there, so I've die cut one of those in shaded spruce, and I also have the Beautiful Blossoms flowers. There actually are 2 packs here. I don't know which colour. I might go with that one actually. Yes, we'll go with that little one there. So I've got one of those little flowers, and then all I need to do is just trim my sentiment. So I literally just used my trimmer just to trim this down to the size I want. And then, oops, and then I'm simply going to trim the corners, round the corners of it, so that it's all the same. It's always a little bit fiddlier using smaller pieces. There we go, so that's that bit done. And then I'm just grabbing my fuse because it's the only one I can see right now. So I'm just going to pop my little sentiment on there, and then I've just used a glue dot on the back of my flower because it's flat, and I'm also going to use one on the back of my flower, and although it's got a hole there, it still just fits nicely in place. So my flower's just going to sit at the bottom there, and then this flower is going to sit over the hole there, and there it is, finished. Super cute, lovely way of just dressing up a little chocolate box. Hope you liked it, guys. Everything that I've used is available from the current catalogue or on the online store, and all the links for everything that you need are just below in the description. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.